Let's talk about something most men are too scared to say out loud. You want things from women. Respect, attention, love, loyalty, sex, affection, whatever it is, you want it. But here's the truth most guys never figure out. You don't get what you deserve from a woman. You get what you negotiate, what you command, and what you strategically influence. Welcome to the channel. Today we're diving into something most people tiptoe around. How to get what you want from women, 99% of the time. Not by begging, not by manipulating, and definitely not by playing nice guy games that lead nowhere. I'm going to show you how men with standards, with presence, and with a deep understanding of female psychology move through relationships with clarity and control. Now, before you clutch your pearls, let me be crystal clear. This isn't about disrespecting women or treating them like objects. It's about knowing what you want, having the frame to hold it, and learning how to inspire her to give it willingly. Because a woman doesn't give her best to the man who needs her. She gives it to the man who doesn't chase, the man she's drawn to, challenged by, and inspired to please. And most men, they give their power away before the first date even starts. They ask for permission. They over-explain. They negotiate from weakness instead of strength. And then they wonder why they always feel like they're settling, or worse, being used. By the end of this video, you'll learn the exact mindset, strategies, and behaviors that high-value men use to get what they want from women, without ever looking needy, manipulative, or fake. This is a full breakdown of power, clarity, and masculine leadership in action. Let's break it all down. 1. Stop acting like you need her. This is the foundation of everything. Neediness is a killer, and if you're giving off that vibe, you're already on the back foot. Think about it for a second. When you're too eager or desperate for her approval, attention, or love, you put her on a pedestal. The problem with this? Women aren't attracted to men who worship them. They're attracted to men who are focused, self-sufficient, and don't need validation from anyone, not even from them. Men who need women are trying to fill an emotional void. The problem with this is that neediness makes you weak, and women can sense weakness from a mile away. They don't want to feel like they're in charge of your happiness. They want someone who's already content with their life, their mission, and their purpose. When you don't need her, that's when you start to gain power in the dynamic. It's a mindset shift that'll change everything. Here's what you need to understand. When you act like you need a woman, you're giving up your power. Instead of being a strong, independent man, you become a beggar, asking for her time, affection, or attention, like it's a favor she's doing for you. This desperation isn't attractive, and it puts you in a position of weakness. You may think that if you're always available or put her first, you'll win her over. But in reality, all you're doing is training her to see you as a doormat. Think about it like this. Imagine a man who constantly texts a woman, always making himself available, complimenting her endlessly. He's waiting for her approval at every step. He might even say things like, "I can't stop thinking about you," or "I just need you to know how much I care." Sure, this may seem romantic to him, but from her perspective, it just feels suffocating. She might appreciate the attention, but she'll never fully respect him because he's not bringing anything to the table. He's not living life on his terms. He's living on hers. Here's the reality. You don't need her to feel validated. When you act like you have your own life to focus on, your goals, your ambitions, your interests, you're not hanging on to her every word, every moment. You become someone who can take or leave the relationship, and that's powerful. Women are drawn to men who are not easily swayed by their emotions, and they respect men who aren't afraid to walk away when their needs aren't being met. For example, imagine you're in a relationship with a woman who's been hot and cold lately. She hasn't been giving you the same attention or care she used to, and you feel like you need to do something to fix it. Instead of chasing her, focus on your life. Go out with friends, hit the gym, focus on your work. Things that make you feel fulfilled and that keep your attention elsewhere. When she sees you living your life, not bending over backward for her, and still being happy without her constant attention, it sparks curiosity. She'll wonder, what's changed? Why isn't he chasing me anymore? That curiosity leads to attraction, and that's where your power lies. 2. Don't compliment her looks. Compliment her actions. Compliments are a tricky thing. Most men believe that telling a woman she's beautiful will win her over, but in reality, it's a fast track to making her lose interest. Complimenting her looks too much or too early puts the focus on her physical appearance. This isn't a terrible thing, but it's superficial. It makes you seem like you're only interested in her for what's on the outside, and that's never going to create the deep attraction you want. When you focus only on her appearance, it's like putting her on a pedestal. Think about it. If all you say is, "You look amazing," or "You're so beautiful," what's she really supposed to do with that? Women get compliments on their looks all the time. It becomes routine, and over time, it stops having the same effect. More importantly, it doesn't show that you value her as a whole person, just her outer shell. Instead, compliment her actions, her qualities, the way she moves through life. This shows her that you're paying attention to who she is beyond her physicality. When you recognize the effort she puts into her work, her passions, or how she treats others, that's when you truly show her that you respect and appreciate her for who she is at the core. It's more meaningful, and ultimately, it's more attractive. For instance, if you notice that she's been working hard on a personal project, or that she's taken the time to help others, tell her how much you admire her dedication and kindness. Comment on the way she handles challenges, or how focused she is on her goals. These are compliments that recognize her as a person, not just a pretty face. When she hears this kind of feedback, she knows you're genuinely seeing her, not just admiring her looks. Imagine you're spending time with her, and she's telling you about a recent challenge she faced and overcame. Instead of saying, "You're so beautiful," which might feel empty in that moment, say something like, "I love how you approach challenges. You've got this incredible ability to stay focused and get things done. It's really inspiring." This shows you see more than just her outer beauty. You're appreciating what makes her unique and admirable. Women respect men who see them for more than their looks, especially when those men can appreciate qualities like ambition, intelligence, kindness, and strength. Complimenting her in this way makes you stand out as someone who's not just interested in her body, but in her as a person. This deepens the attraction, builds real respect, and creates a much stronger connection. 3. Make her chase you, not the other way around. Let's face it, chasing women is a losing game. So many guys fall into the trap of thinking that if they just pursue her enough, show enough interest, or put in enough effort, she'll eventually come around. But here's the hard truth. When you're always the one chasing, you're setting yourself up to lose. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about understanding the power of being unavailable in a way that makes her want to come after you. Think about the last time you found someone truly intriguing. Chances are, they weren't the ones blowing up your phone or always running after you, constantly seeking your approval. Instead, they were the ones who had their own life, their own interests, and weren't desperate for your attention. Women are drawn to men who seem to have their own thing going on, who have their own focus, who are not easily distracted by her. When you're always the one chasing, you're giving her too much power. Women don't respect men who are always available to them. When you're always there at her beck and call, it sends the message that you have nothing going on in your life, nothing worth her attention over what she's offering you. You lose that element of mystery, and without mystery, you lose attraction. Being unavailable is not about playing games. It's about taking control of your own life and making sure she's aware that your time is valuable. When you don't constantly chase after her, you leave space for her to do the chasing. And when she's the one putting in the effort to get your attention, you shift the power dynamic. You become the one she wants to impress, the one she has to work for. This is about creating a healthy tension in the relationship. If you're always accessible, you eliminate the desire for her to pursue you. But if you pull back, give her space, and keep your life busy and fulfilling, she'll start to wonder where you are, what you're doing, and why she hasn't heard from you. That curiosity fuels attraction. It's the feeling that she's not the one holding the power anymore. And that's when the tables start to turn. Making her chase you isn't about playing mind games or manipulating her emotions. It's about standing your ground, maintaining your value, and making sure she sees that you're a man of substance with a full life and boundaries. And as long as you keep doing that, she'll chase you, and you'll be in control of how things unfold. 4. Always keep her guessing. One of the most powerful ways to keep a woman attracted is to never let her completely figure you out. Now, this doesn't mean you have to play games or hide your true self, but there's something incredibly magnetic about a man who is a bit unpredictable, a bit mysterious. When a woman can always predict what you'll do, how you'll respond, and what's coming next, she'll quickly lose interest. Routine kills attraction. The key here is to keep her on her toes. Let her wonder about you. This doesn't mean you need to be distant or act like you don't care. It's about creating a dynamic of interest and curiosity. If she always knows where you are, what you're doing, and when you'll text her, she'll eventually take it for granted. That's when the spark starts to fade. But if you leave just a little room for mystery, for her to wonder, it keeps her thinking about you. Women are naturally drawn to men who aren't completely transparent with everything. The element of surprise, the occasional unpredictability, makes them more intrigued and invested in you. If you always act in a predictable way, or if she knows exactly how you'll react in every situation, she won't feel challenged. There's nothing left for her to figure out, and when that happens, the chase is over. Without challenge, the excitement fades. Keeping her guessing is about more than just not giving away everything about yourself. It's also about the way you engage with her emotionally and mentally. If you're always available, always giving her constant reassurance, always letting her know exactly how you feel at every moment, you take away that push-pull tension that's essential for attraction. You're essentially eliminating that space where she has to wonder how you feel or what you're thinking. And that space is what creates desire. Being a little unpredictable also helps you avoid the trap of being too available or too predictable. Men often think that if they're always around, always checking in, always planning the next date, it'll make a woman more attached. But in reality, it often just makes them feel like they have you figured out. Predictability isn't intriguing. It's boring. And no one wants to chase someone who's boring. Here's the thing. When you're unpredictable, it creates an element of mystery that draws her in. It's like this. She starts to feel like she doesn't quite have you figured out yet, and that keeps her curious. It keeps her thinking about you when you're not around, trying to piece together the puzzle. That curiosity is what keeps her wanting more. Being a man who has his own interests, his own agenda, his own passions outside of her, creates space. And space creates desire. It's the age-old truth that the more a person has to work for something, the more they value it. By keeping her guessing, you're ensuring that she's never truly comfortable with where things are. That uncertainty is what fuels her attraction to you. It keeps the emotional connection alive because there's always more to discover. 5. Show interest, then pull back. If you want to build real attraction and keep a woman coming back for more, you have to master the art of showing interest, then pulling back. It's a technique that's all about balancing attention and space. If you give her too much attention too quickly, it can feel like you're too available, and that can make the connection feel forced. But if you pull back just when she's starting to get invested, it sparks curiosity and keeps her engaged. When you show interest, it should feel genuine, not like you're trying too hard. Let her know you enjoy her company and that you're intrigued by her, but don't give her all of your energy right away. Give her just enough to keep her interested, but then step back. This is the push-pull dynamic that keeps the emotional tension high and builds a deeper attraction. Here's why this works. When you're constantly pursuing her, she knows exactly where you stand. But when you show interest and then pull back, it creates a sense of uncertainty. She starts to wonder why you've backed off. This curiosity and desire to figure you out triggers something in her. It's a feeling that many men overlook. When she has to wonder about your level of interest, she will start to chase after you to find out more. This technique isn't about being manipulative. It's about maintaining your personal value and not allowing the relationship to get too predictable. If you're always showing her interest, she may start to take you for granted. But when you pull back, you give her space to miss you. And when she misses you, she will start to appreciate the time spent with you much more. For example, if you've been texting her a lot and things seem to be flowing smoothly, don't feel the need to text her every day. You might send a message showing that you care, but then take a step back and let her respond. Don't jump in immediately to fill any silences. By waiting a little before replying, you're creating a sense of anticipation. She'll wonder why you didn't reply right away and start thinking about you more. The key here is not to play games, but to have a life outside of the relationship and not let her consume all of your energy. When you pull back, you create an emotional vacuum. She begins to feel the absence and naturally starts to invest more in you to fill that gap. Remember, if you're too available all the time, you risk becoming predictable. But if you pull back at the right moments, you'll keep her engaged and wanting to pursue you. 6. Make her earn your time and attention. Here's where most men go wrong. They give away their time and attention too easily. They think that by constantly being available, responding immediately, or putting all their focus on her, they're going to make a lasting impression. But the truth is, you should make her earn your time and attention. If you're constantly giving her yours without hesitation, it sends the wrong message. You're not a man of value, you're just too easy. Men often feel like they have to jump at every opportunity to impress a woman or show they care. They think, if I'm always there for her, always replying to her texts in seconds, always planning the next date, she'll appreciate them more. But in reality, this kind of behavior only weakens your position. When you're always giving her your energy without making her work for it, you risk being taken for granted. This is about setting a standard for how valuable your time and attention really are. Your time is precious, and if you treat it like it's disposable, she's going to treat it that way too. If you want her to value you, you have to create a sense of scarcity. You shouldn't be available all the time or at her beck and call. You need to get into the mindset that your attention isn't free. It's earned. When you make a woman work for your time and attention, it shifts the dynamic. It forces her to appreciate what she gets from you. Instead of just handing over your energy and commitment without thought, you teach her that she needs to invest to get more of you. This doesn't mean being cold or playing games. It's about having a clear sense of your own worth. One of the most attractive things a man can do is to make himself busy and unavailable at times. Be involved in your own life, your goals, your ambitions. When you show that you have your own mission, she'll see that you're not just sitting around waiting for her to text you. Your time isn't a given. It's something she'll have to earn. When you make her work for your time, you teach her a vital lesson. You're not desperate for her attention. You're not just hanging on every word she says, waiting for the next interaction. You're a man who is focused on his own purpose, and she has to fit into that. This doesn't mean ignoring her or treating her poorly. It means you're confident enough to not chase after her constantly. You know that you don't need to pour your energy into someone who's not investing in you in return. Now, don't confuse this with being unkind or distant. It's not about being rude or indifferent. It's about creating a healthy distance where she can feel the value of your time. Make her feel the absence of you. And when you are present, make sure it's meaningful. Don't let her take your attention for granted. By making her earn your time, you're teaching her to respect you and your boundaries. And most importantly, you're teaching her that your energy is precious and should be cherished. 7. Don't give her your energy. Let her come to you. Let's get real for a second. Too many men are desperate for validation. They give away their time, attention, and energy to women who don't appreciate it. They're so focused on making her like them, on getting her approval, that they completely forget one crucial thing. Your energy is valuable, and it shouldn't be freely given away. Here's the truth. If you're constantly chasing after a woman, always texting, always reaching out, always trying to keep the conversation alive, you're sabotaging your own attraction. Women are naturally drawn to men who don't need them to feel good about themselves. They want to be around men who are emotionally stable, independent, and not reliant on external validation. You're not a backup option. You shouldn't be waiting around, anxiously wondering when she'll text back or when she'll finally give you the attention you're craving. If you're always the one reaching out, you're not creating the right dynamic. You're telling her that your time and energy are worth less than hers. And the truth is, that's not an attractive position to be in. If you're always the one giving, always the one pursuing, you're putting yourself in a weak position. Now, don't misunderstand me. Being available and engaged is important in relationships. But if you're constantly the one putting in all the effort, you're going to drain yourself emotionally and wear down your self-respect. And the problem is, she's not going to respect you for it. The truth is, women value men who are able to keep their own emotional balance and not depend on her to feel good about themselves. If you're giving her all your energy, she might take it, but it's not going to create attraction. In fact, it's likely going to do the opposite. Here's where a lot of men get it wrong. They chase after a woman, pour all their energy into her, and expect her to reciprocate. But attraction isn't built by constantly throwing yourself at someone. It's built by creating emotional space. When you stop giving her all your energy and let her come to you, you give her the chance to chase you. You make her feel the void when you're not around. That absence makes her realize that you're a person who has a life, a purpose, and interests outside of her. And that is extremely attractive. A lot of men need to wake up and realize this simple truth. You don't have to be constantly available to get her attention. It's about creating a natural dynamic where she wants to invest in you, to earn your attention. If you keep pouring your energy into her without making her invest anything in return, you're going to get stuck in the friend zone, or worse, you'll just end up being taken for granted. Let me put it bluntly. Stop acting like you need her. If you're always available, always eager to please, and always giving her energy, you're setting yourself up for failure. Men who have real value are self-sufficient and emotionally independent. They don't need constant validation. They make women come to them, and when she does, it's because she sees his worth and wants to be part of his life, not the other way around. The wake-up call here is this: value yourself enough to stop chasing. Don't give your energy away so freely. Let her wonder, let her miss you, let her make the effort for a change. You'll find that when you stop chasing, she starts coming to you. 8. Set boundaries and stick to them. If you've been following along so far, you already know that attraction is about creating value, mystery, and a sense of independence. But there's one final piece to the puzzle that a lot of men overlook: boundaries. Without boundaries, you're setting yourself up to be treated poorly, taken for granted, and ultimately, you lose control of the dynamic. If you want to attract and maintain a woman's interest, you have to set clear boundaries and stick to them. Too many men, in their eagerness to impress, will let a woman walk all over them. They'll ignore red flags, allow disrespect, or tolerate behavior that makes them uncomfortable just to keep the peace or avoid conflict. But this is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. When you let people push your limits, you teach them that you don't value yourself. And if you don't value yourself, no one else will either. Boundaries aren't just about saying no to things you don't want. They're about creating a standard for how you expect to be treated. You decide how people, women included, treat you. If you let them disrespect your time, energy, or personal space, they will continue to do so. If you don't communicate what you want and need from the start, they won't know what you're willing to tolerate. Now, I know some men might be thinking, but if I set boundaries, won't I seem like a jerk? No, that's not the case at all. Setting boundaries doesn't mean being rude or cold. It means you're assertive and confident in your own needs. It means you're not going to let someone else dictate your behavior or make you feel uncomfortable. It's about showing self-respect, and anyone who respects you will understand and appreciate your boundaries. The problem is, many men are afraid of losing a woman's interest, so they bend their boundaries to keep her around. They think that if they give her everything she wants and don't challenge her, they'll secure her affection. But here's the reality. The more you bend, the less attractive you become. Women respect men who know where they stand, who aren't afraid to assert themselves, and who are unwilling to sacrifice their values for someone else's comfort. If you want her to respect you, you have to show respect for yourself first. Whether it's about how much time you're willing to give, what kind of treatment you expect, or how much emotional energy you're willing to invest. Set those limits and stick to them. When you do, she'll know exactly what she's getting with you, and she'll be more likely to invest in the relationship because she knows you're not going to tolerate being treated badly. Remember, boundaries aren't walls. They're markers that define your space. They create a healthy dynamic, a space where both people can give and receive without one person feeling taken advantage of. So, set your boundaries and stand firm. It's the only way you'll ever truly get what you want from her, without losing your sense of self. Oh, let's be honest. Most men fail with women because they try too hard to please. They bend over backwards, abandon their values, and give up their time and energy, all in the hopes of winning her over. But here's the truth. Women are not attracted to desperation or neediness. What they really want is a man who has his own life, his own mission, and the confidence to stand firm in his beliefs and boundaries. If you're constantly chasing her, you're chasing the wrong thing. So, if you want to actually get what you want from women, and I'm talking about long-lasting attraction, respect, and real connections, start by focusing on yourself first. Stop giving away your power and start making her work for your attention, your time, and your energy. It's about setting your own standards and only allowing women who respect those standards into your life. I want to hear your experiences. Have you made these mistakes in the past? Or are you already implementing some of these strategies? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll personally reach out. Let's create a real connection. I'll be there to help you level up and make sure you're not falling for the same traps anymore. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.